All right, let's do this. I'm not even ready with coffee. You gotta stop. You're being a pill. You can't go behind me. I don't care. You're being... Welcome to life with a cat. We fight with a cat in the morning. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday, July 2nd, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Look at you being adorable but annoying at the same time. Yeah. I don't know if you can see in her face, but she's very resentful right now. See? Look at that face. That is an unhappy cat. And now she's purring. She's resentful but purring. She doesn't even know how she feels. Wow. So what's going on? I didn't do a lot yesterday. I don't think, did I mention yesterday that I'm on penicillin now? For my tooth stuff. I don't like how it makes me feel at all. I feel gross and just, my stomach's just, I can feel as the bacteria die off. Just, ugh. I'm burping a lot. Almost makes me want to vomit, but not quite. So we deal with it. And I just felt bummed out that I'm dealing with all this. So I decided to be nice to myself and just not quite take the day off, but I just chilled out. A friend came over for breakfast. We hung out for a bit, caught up, and did a little bit of work. And honestly, today is probably not going to be too different. I have lunch with a friend today. Look at me being social. And gonna work on the fight program this morning. Got a couple calls. One with a potential client, one with Justin, who I'm collaborating with on the Martial Journal print edition. We'll take a few more steps with that. And what else? Yeah, and just some other little stuff in between. So, do what we can do. I'll probably go to the gym later. I thought about going to the gym after I coached last night, and I just didn't feel like working out. I felt like getting a frozen pizza and eating all of it. So I did. Yay. We pretend that's self-care, because it kind of is. You're making funny noises. You know that? Hey, you. You hear yourself making those funny noises? I don't know if you can hear it, but she's making these kind of like grunty noises. They're not purrs. I need a vacation. Like a real vacation. I need 2 weeks where I don't need to worry about anything. Maybe next month. I feel overwhelmed right now. I really do. 2020 sucks. Go lay down. You're not laying on me. It's not happening today. Nope. Nope. You can sit here, or you can sit here, or you can sit on your blanket. Those are your options. Or you can go somewhere else. If you own a cat, you know this struggle. I have a client Friday. take half the day off, work in the yard. Although I think, let's see, today's Thursday. That's tomorrow. I think tomorrow's supposed to be another rainy day. Today was supposed to be sunny. Now it's going to be foggy. We'll find out. All right. Instead of wallowing in my own self-pity and bringing you down with me, I'll just shift into this. What did you all write in? Let's see what's going on. Right there. Her dementia is getting a little worse, so I try to be compassionate. It's frustrating. She still seems happy. She's not in pain. She just sometimes doesn't know what's going on. And that's really hard for me. All right, looks like today we've got stuff from Frank. Frank and Frank. Same Frank. Two things from Frank. Fun fact, if you forget anything today, just tell him it's I forgot day. I didn't even know that was a thing. The technique should not be practiced simply so they can be performed in the kata. Since karate is a fighting art, each technique and movement has its own meaning. The karateka must consider their meaning, how and why they are effective, and practice accordingly. Shigeru Egami. Application of forms matters, yes. It is not the only reason to practice forms. I feel like there's these two, I feel like you can say this about anything these days. There are these two polarized camps on how forms are approached. Either it's all about practical application and you need to really understand the meaning, and if you don't, you're wasting your time. And then on the other side, we've got forms are dumb. They don't actually help you with anything. Don't do them. And I'm here in the middle saying, you're both taking this way too far. Forms are relevant for a lot of different reasons. For all the reasons that we mentioned. Application, yes. It's also a great way to practice something on your own. It's really fun to me to find your own self-expression within a form. Think of it like writing. You have the constraint of the same 26 letters, assuming you're writing in English, and the same vocabulary, and we all come up with different things. No, that's not the best example. Music's a better example. Stacy says, and forms are good for teaching you how to move through space to see what connects with you. Yes. Forms are better compared to music, a musical piece. If you look in pop music, you don't have to look hard to find the same songs being done dramatically differently. I think one of the best examples I can think of that's moderately current is the band Weezer's cover of Toto's Africa. Right? Toto did the original? Pretty sure Toto did the original. Both great songs. If you are a casual listener, you're not going to hear the differences. But if you sit down, if you really dig into them, and you listen to them side by side, you can hear the differences. They are different pieces. Not quite as dramatic as the difference in The Sound of Silence from Disturbed, as they covered, who did the original one? Oh my gosh, I'm not awake. I should know this. Somebody's going to chime in and help me. But you've got a dramatic, different interpretation. Simon and Garfunkel. Thank you, Stacy. I knew you'd help me out. Two dramatically different versions of the same song. And to me, that's what forms are. And part of finding your own version, your own space within that form, is exploring the application. What does this move do? What does this move do? How does it work? And there's no right answer. There are certainly plenty of wrong answers. If I do a low block and say I'm blocking a punch to the face, it's probably wrong. But depending on how you come up with those sequences and in what you're interpreting as a initiating movement, it can be dramatically different. And if you're willing to consider that form as response to different attacks, it gets even better. When you see that these 3 or 4 movements can be adjusted a little bit to respond to different things, then that form becomes more than just a prearranged sequence where maybe you find your own version. It can become a toolkit. I like what Stacy's saying here. It's why some forms look so good on someone. There's a connection more than just movement. Yes. I've got a few movements that are mine, or a few forms that are mine. I own them. I love the movements. I know them intimately. I can make minor adjustments on the fly. I've done them so many times. They resonate for me. And if anyone's curious, it's Empi and it's Kusanku. Those are the two. I love those forms. Yeah. Oh, BT Dub. I can't find a patio set, so I don't know what we're doing for me doing a show out on the patio. On the deck. I'm not going to call it a patio. It's a small deck on the back of a house in the woods. It's not a patio. I'll find something. I'll keep looking. Next. Fighting is a sport. If you're not humble, it's going to bring humbleness to you. And that's a rather ironic quote given the attribution, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is probably the scariest person on the planet in terms of combat. When people talk about, oh, I wouldn't want to fight him, I wouldn't fight him. For me, it's Mike Tyson, and then very, very far down the list would be literally anyone else. One of the coolest videos that you can find is Mike Tyson at age 18 doing pad work. Well, find that. It's insane. Someone that big, that strong, and that fast should not exist. It is. He is an anomaly. And here he is now at 50 something, and he's training again. The implication is that he may step back in the ring. And anybody who would count him out to be a contender at his age, it just doesn't understand who he is. He is a monster. He is... There's a reason that he is probably the best known boxer outside of boxing of all time. I mean, people know George Foreman because of his grill. People know Evander Holyfield because of his name. People know Manny Pacquiao and there are others, right? But Mike Tyson's done movies and TV, and we watch him. We're interested in him because there was such a train wreck around his life. And we saw someone at the top of his game. I don't know if you remember when he came out of prison. The fight was like 12 seconds. Because he just trained while he was in prison. All he did was get stronger. I hope he comes back. I hope he fights again. Because I think that would be awesome to watch. Fighting is a sport. Can be, yes. If you're not humble, it's going to bring humbleness to you. Now, it's a double-sided coin. And I think you could see some contradiction in that, but that's not how I'm reading it. Up until the day of the fight, you have to respect your opponent. I guess even in the fight, you have to respect your opponent. You have to respect what they can do. Otherwise, you're going to get cocky. You're going to get lazy. Excuse me. You're going to underestimate what they can do. And that's where the humility he's talking about comes in, when they put you on your butt. You have to train like you have to train. But when you step into the ring, and this has always been my attitude, I will train like I am trying to overcome some insurmountable odds. But the moment that I bow in, it's mine to lose. That's how I approach my competitions. Not that I do them often anymore. I wouldn't even say infrequently, rarely. When was the last time I competed? 16? 17? No, 8. 2018? I think it was 2018. I don't know. I think it was 2018. And I need that. I need that confidence. Doesn't mean I always win. But I need to portray that attitude. Because if you don't believe you're going to win, nobody else will. And when you're talking about forms competition, which is where I've competed, it needs to come through. You need to project that. It's like acting, putting on a role. Mike Tyson is so scary. One of the big things that I focus on is not having regrets. Just taking every opportunity I have and going for it. Chris Weidman. I have very, very few regrets in life. Most of the regrets are things I didn't do. Things I could have done but didn't. There are a couple small regrets of things that I did do, but I've learned a lot from them. I regret some of the things that I did early on in whistlekick, but I've learned a lot from them. I regret a handful of things that I said and did to people when I was younger, but I've learned a lot from them. Rather, I just try to let them go. I try not to dwell on the past. And I guess as this quote is suggesting, looking for opportunities, taking opportunities, which means risk. Opportunities require risk. I could stay in this house every day. I could not leave. I could not engage with other people. Whistlekick wouldn't be that different. I would have more time. I would definitely be more bored. I would have more money. But I'd be miserable. You have to look for opportunities. Sometimes they don't present themselves to you. Sometimes you have to create them. Sometimes you have to hunt for them. Sometimes you have to take one opportunity to lead to another. One of the things, this is a pretty concrete example. When I talk to people who operate businesses, who are starting a business, especially a service-based business, inevitably one of the questions that comes up is pricing. How do I price what I do? Well, how much do you want to work? How many hours? Well, I want to work 30 hours a week. Okay? So you start by doing whatever you have to do to work 30 hours a week. That might mean you give away what you're doing. You reach out to a bunch of nonprofits. Hey, I'm getting started in copywriting. I would like to volunteer to write some articles for your blog. There's no catch here. I'm trying to build my portfolio. Not all of them will say yes, but enough of them will say yes that you'll get up to 30 hours a week. And you start doing it, and you spend a few hours a week talking to other things and other people, talking to other people and engaging with other groups. And eventually somebody's going to want to start paying you. How much do you charge? And you pick a low number. Well, I'm still getting going, and I want to make sure that I'm over delivering in the value that I provide. How does $20 an hour sound? Wow, that sounds really cheap. We'd like to engage your services for 5 hours a week. Cool. And you go back to one of those nonprofits and you say, hey, I have some paying clients coming in. I can no longer do your work for free. Some of them will say, oh, okay, I understand. Thanks for your time. We appreciate the work that you did. Maybe some of them will say, oh, well, we've really seen the benefit from what you've done. Can we start paying you? Yeah, how about $10 an hour? And you continue to turn that wheel, and you stay capped at 30 hours a week. And eventually, all the work you're doing for 30 hours a week is paid. And then as people come in, you cut off the bottom. You go to the people that you're charging $5 or $10 an hour, and you say, hey, I need to create some space for these other clients. I can no longer do this work for you at this price. And you continue that flow. And before you know it, after a few years, what you started doing at zero is actually $50, $60, $100 an hour. You've built the exposure, you've practiced, you've built a portfolio, and that process never stops. It should never stop. Because you should continue to get better, and people will continue to see an increased value in what you do. This is how I handle my consulting. When I started doing consulting work again, some of it was as low as $50 an hour. And this is for work that I've got more than a decade of experience. I'm grossly undercharging. And as I've added people in, I started adding more and more and more to what I was charging. And now when I have this call later today, there's a lot of opportunity there, but there's a good chance that that client will come on at $85 to $100 an hour. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And if any of you out there are thinking about starting your own business like that, and you want some advice, just reach out to me. I don't talk about how to reach me on this show, but jeremy@whistlekick.com. Email me. It's the easiest way. It's time to go. I'm going to go work on the fight program. I hope you have a good day, a great day, a wonderful, stupendous, incredible day. I'm going to try. Don't forget, I need you all to consider dropping comments and questions that I can respond to. Put them below. I'll talk about them tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. And if you want to support Whistlekick, go over to whistlekick.com, buy something, and use the code FIRSTCUP15. Stacy says, have an awesome, fantabulous day. Great word. Or you can consider the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. And you can do as little as $2 a month. The $25 and up tier has been getting access to the programs, the first draft of the programs. No, well, the first release of the programs for free. And those are worth at least $25. So I work hard to make sure we over-deliver on value. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.